Hello, this is a tutorial to show you how to put 3 individual photographs into a triptych. So the first thing we need to do is to go to File and New, and if it doesn't say centimetres here, if it says something else like millimetres or inches or pixels, whatever, just select centimetres, and I'd like you to make it 30.4 centimetres wide and 15 centimetres high. And for your resolution, we always deal in pixels per inch and a resolution of 300. And then we can give it a title, so I'll just call it Triptych, and okay. And you will have, so the option is that you either have a white rectangular base or a black rectangular base. So if your images are going to be quite dark with a lot of, you find your images have got lots of dark tones, make your rectangle white, and vice versa. If your images are quite bright and they're quite light, then if you want to contrast, make your rectangle black. Now, you do that by using the paint bucket. So when you first look at it, it may be that you've got a different colour in one of these squares, but that's fine. Can you see there's like a little default one here. So if you click on the small one, it will just give you a version of black or white. And whichever colour is on top, that is what you're going to make your rectangle. So you can swap them, you see, by clicking the little curved arrow. Now your paint bucket is this little icon here. So if I was to click on the paint bucket and click on the rectangle, it would make it that top colour. If I was wanting to make it go back, I'd select that as my main colour, back to the paint bucket, and then you can make that white. Now, it may be that you're looking on the toolbar down here and you can't find the paint bucket. It may be that it's actually hidden behind the gradient rectangle. Okay, so if you can't find the paint bucket, but you can find this kind of gradient rectangle here, click the little arrow, select your paint bucket. Okay, so the next stage of this is to open up the individual photographs that you want to put inside it. So we'll go to File and Open, and I'll open up my first photograph. Now, you'll be taking most of your photographs on RAW, okay, but at this stage, I'm just assuming that you've edited the photograph and that you've saved it as a JPEG, okay, because we need these to be JPEGs before we can drag them in. So you'll have a JPEG, you're going to get it to the right size. So I'm going to go to my drag tool up here, and I'm going to go to Image, I'm going to go to Image Size, change this to centimetres, and then what you're going to do is you're going to make the width 10, height 15 centimetres, and so it corresponds to the rectangle. We're going to make the resolution 300 pixels per inch, and then you can literally just drag into the triptych and drop and move into place. Just drop it anywhere for now. You can see that that image is now here on layer 1. Open up the next photograph. Same thing, image size, centimetres, that's fine, 300. And drag and drop. Just put that anywhere for now. You can see there's a new layer, and then on that layer is just this middle image. You can see it there. Okay, so at this point you've put your three individual photographs in, but you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that. I think maybe the left one would be better in the middle, or the centre one would be better on the right. You can still change them at this point, but you've got to be aware that they're all on different layers. So if I wanted to move this middle layer, I'd need that one clicked and highlighted, and I can move that about to here. And then if I wanted to move this one, I need to go back on this layer, and then I can move that one. Okay, so let's put that back. So actually I wanted it exactly how I originally had it. So back to the red layer, move that back into place. Now what I'm looking for is to create quite a nice sort of gapping between each of the photographs. So quite even, not too thin but not too thick either. Things don't look all that great when the gapping is too big, but also if they're just too thin you can barely see, it doesn't work. So it's just, you know, just a couple of millimeters really. And don't worry about stuff at the side or at the top, because we're going to crop that out. But I think that's fine. Now, if you're having trouble actually moving them into exactly the right place, so you're trying to move them like very, very slightly, and but when you let go of the mouse, they sort of ping off somewhere else, so they don't let you place them exactly where you want to. It may be that you just got to double check on your view up here and snap. And if snap is ticked, untick it. You don't want snap to be ticked at all. Okay. Right, at that point, what we're going to do is we're going to now just make all this into one layer. So we're going to go to layer, and we're just going to merge all the visibles. And now what we've got is one layer. And then we now want to get rid of all the extra kind of white margins on the side. So if we go to the cropping tool, and what you want to do here is have no numbers. Okay, so it may be that you you open the cropping up and it's got numbers like 30 by 15 or 10 by 15. Just delete all the numbers, and you want it completely unconstrained, just empty. Okay, and then you can just make your fine adjustments, and just crop down a tiny, tiny bit. You don't want to be too far away from 15 by 30, you just want it to be quite fine. Let's have a look. Yeah. And then finally, what I want you to do is I would like you to place a very, very thin black border around it. Okay, because at the minute, if we put this onto a white sway, which is what you're going to do, these little white borders are just going to vanish off into them, so they look more like three separate photographs as opposed to a triptych. So I want you to, and I want you to learn how to put thin black borders around your images anyway. So let's go off. We'll come off the crop, and we'll just go back to drag tool. And then what you're going to do is you are going to either right click on the background, or you can do it up here. Can you see these little lines here? And what you're looking for is you want to duplicate the layer. And then you're going to go down to FX, stroke. That needs to stay inside. And I think 2 pixels should be fine. Okay, now you can't really see it on this because it's quite a dark background, but there is now a tiny, very thin black border around it. Okay, and again, what I want you to do is layer, merge all the visibles. So now you've got one image, image size, not centimeters, we don't need it this big. So we can actually, let me just put that back in. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm just going to constrain proportions. That's what I'm going to do. So, um, if you don't have constrained proportions, when you change the width here, you'd have to change this separately. But if you want everything to go down in proportion, so when you change the width, the height will be in proportion to it. Then click on constrain proportions. Now, can you see when one changes, the other one does as well, but the resolution stays the same because you don't want to mess with that. So I was thinking you don't need it to be 30 for your sway, so how about you just put 20 in for it, and then just as long as you've got constrained proportions, the height will be exactly correct. There you go, and then that's a far kind of nicer size. Okay, and then you would just go to File, Save As. Obviously your interface will look different to mine. This version of Photoshop is a few years old. You've got the most updated version of it, so the interface will look different, but essentially everything will be exactly the same. Okay, so you've already called it Triptych, and you've got to make sure that you've saved it as a JPEG, and then you save. And that's it. That's essentially how you create a triptych by placing 3 separate images in together, arranging them, and then saving them as one document. And that's it. That's the end of the tutorial.